We meet again, misery.
Oh,
You're not misery, Tommy.
no.
The current situation for the Oilers comes across as a little bit of misery right now.
Picked up on that last night.
Yeah, how was that last night?
Fun.
Yeah,
It's
a good time.
Listen, I know it's misery for oil country, but it does make for entertaining, fun, engaging shows. Last night included huge shout out to everyone at BP Westgate.
Looked like a good time last night.
Awesome time. And honestly, I didn't think, I saw a couple nasties saying that they might come out. And then all of a sudden, Tracy,
I saw that straight out of the hospital pretty much.
Yeah, and Norm was there. El Presidente showed up. It was good to see him. Kelvin brought me some chicken noodle soup, which I will have. I feel way better today, by the way. And then
just getting the chicken noodle soup made you feel better.
Yeah, it did. It was very thoughtful, very nice. Fergie was there. Fergie was great on the hangout. Shout out to Reed came out, Hernan, DVD hopped on for a little bit.
I thought I saw Reed's back in one of those videos.
He was there.
Yeah, nice.
It was a good show. And then you were there for a little bit.
I had to pop by quickly.
I know.
That's my bad.
You know what? I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I didn't message you about the road kit, but I just assumed it.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
So I had it Wednesday, and then I had it in my truck, and I had a bunch of stuff I was already carrying in the morning. So I was like, well, when I whip out to grab a bite to eat or something for breakfast, I'll bring it in then.
Yeah.
And then I whipped down to watch Elizabeth in this girls' hockey camp she's in right now. And when I got back yesterday, I didn't even think about it. And then I was sitting there in a bit of a meeting yesterday, and that's why my phone was put away. And I bring my phone on, and I see you with the equipment, and it was like 3:51. I was like, oh no. But I made it work, and then I got the light down there eventually, and we got everything set.
Yeah, I slapped together a road kit, because I think we have like one and a... Oh, we have like two.
Two and a little bit.
Belsey and I bought our own gear before we started Hello Hockey. And I just didn't have a light. And then you've got like one of the good sets of headsets. I've got one left over from the old place that don't tell them.
Don't let them know.
Yeah,
they don't care about it anyway.
Anyway, we made it work. But a lot of people, Tony and Curtis, were very happy to see you.
Oh, it's great to see those guys. Yeah,
they're in great spirits, and they very much want to be a part of the golf.
Had a good chat about the golf sim in there.
They have a league
with
starting.
Curtis. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's I'd seen it behind you on the post, but I hadn't been in there since they put that in. And it's a significant setup, man.
Yep.
Like, so you go in, you book, it's $20 an hour.
Best rate in the city.
And you have two huge TVs right there, and you get to decide what's on those TVs.
Yep.
And he said during NFL season, guys would come in, put on the Sunday ticket, and then just sit there and golf and watch football. And I was like, man, that's a great idea.
That's an awesome Sunday. Yeah. I'll tell you that much. But good vibe. The only letdown was the team and the performance and the result. Outside of that, great time.
Yeah, it looked like a good time.
It was awesome.
Post-game show was very amusing.
Step was there, Big Uke, VR Montenegro. So
I saw VR when I was there. He was one of the first ones there. It was, it looked like a great night.
Mo.
A lot of, I saw Mo. Mo was there when I was there too.
Yep.
Okay, so post-game last night.
Yes, sir.
There was a fun one to kind of sit back and watch. I was in the chat a little bit. For the most part, I steered clear last night. What had people most infuriated about last night's loss?
Well, can't deny the goaltending thing. Can't deny the funk in general this team is in. People wondering what's wrong with McDavid. I think that's completely valid. A lot of people saying like the veteran depth players flat out suck. Like we're at that point. Yeah, they're not playing well. They're not effective in a positive way. That's for sure. And what else took a lot of heat yesterday? Oh, it was interesting, and I'm not surprised by this, but people were put off by Stuart Skinner's perky and upbeat demeanor post-game.
Yeah, we played that this morning, and the reaction was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, does he not realize? Like, and I said, all he kind of had to do, kind of, I mean, I guess what people would have wanted to see was for him to be like, yeah, I should have stopped that third one.
You
know what I mean?
Fair.
Like that, if he just owns it a little bit, I think the vibe towards what he had to say last night changes rather quickly. What for you? Like, what do you think was the biggest issue in last night's game coming out of the team?
Honestly, like the effort was better.
The effort was better.
Engaged.
It was a better game than we've seen recently.
In the second period, I honestly thought like they controlled a lot of the play. Even at times in the third. But they made mistakes, and ones that had cost them recently. Defensive zone lapses, poor coverage, bad gaps, can't get a save. All of those things happened in small spurts last night, and it led directly to goals.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
It's like they kind of cleaned it up, but not completely. And as soon as they made a mistake or were forced into a jam that Florida either created or Edmonton gave to the Oilers, it created just a goal against. And I think a perfect example, it was like a 2 minute and, was it 2 minute, 38 second span or 2 minute, 43 second span? The two goals, yeah. And that ended up being the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point, because the Emerson goal, or pardon me, the Lundell goal, I know that was earlier, but even that off a play where Emerson wins a puck battle in front, right? He wins a puck battle in front, gets the puck, goes, and instead of making a chip off the glass and out or looking to headman it, even though he had pressure behind him from the guy he just beat to the puck, he does a soft saucer pass off the wall, hoping, it was a hope play, that it gets out and they can reset defensively, maybe get a change. Instead, it was such a soft saucer pass, backhander. Aaron Ekblad scoops it up, takes a kind of half slap shot, and it goes off of Lundell and in. And then in the third period, those two goals in the third period.
Those two goals were, which one do you think was worse?
I think the Verhaeghe one.
Yeah. I know everybody's all over him for the Schmidt one, and the breakdowns that led to that goal, not good.
Awful.
And he's got to stop it.
Yes.
But the other one just looks so awkward. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't slide from side to side. Like, he gets down, he stretches his legs out.
Yes.
You know, like he goes down and kind of stretches his legs out.
It's just like
there's not a lot of side to side movement there, right? Like,
yeah.
It was a bit of a weird spot because it hit the defenseman and
hit back home.
Yeah, and then he kind of was bracing for that. But then instead of like the push and slide, it's more like just a lunge with the leg.
You know who did that a lot? Mike
Smith. To think. Yeah, Mike Smith. Mike Smith. He was a little bit bigger than Skinner, but not much.
Yeah,
but he did do that. He did do that a lot as well.
Where he would just kind of lay out,
instead
of like push back, and you know, I guess Calvin Pickard can't really do that because he's about 3 inches shorter than Stu.
I'm also not sure what Pickard does stylistically, you know.
He's just a mutt.
He kind of just moves his. Yeah, that's a good way to describe him.
And it works.
I mean, it's been successful enough for him to be around for a little bit. But yeah, that's a good way to discuss. He's more like back up quickly, shuffle over, get back. You know, he's. I mean, if Skinner had his quickness, they have a pretty good goalie.
Good blend
on their hands. Yeah.
Cam Talbot also kind of sprawled out like that towards his end of his run here, where I think he was just, gassed from being tired from playing so much, gassed from playing in front of or playing behind a terrible defense in 17-18. That it's just. I
do think he got around the ice a bit more than Stu does, though.
Talbot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You know, like just lateral movement.
But I remember there were times where you'd see Talbot and you'd just be like sprawled out and you're like, what are you doing? But then it'd be like the third shot would go in.
And then somebody grabs his pad and holds it open and they score on him in the playoffs.
That did happen.
And it's just,
I was there.
God, that was ridiculous.
And then Mike Smith used to do that. And then now Stu seems to do it. That's why the fourth one to me was worse, because it was like Verhaeghe. It was almost like a nothing rush, one-on-one. Ekholm plays it okay, hits him, rolls back down, and Verhaeghe just kind of like continues, essentially. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you have like 8 to 10 inches of space.
Puts it in there, like.
And Verhaeghe's a good goal scorer. Not as good this year as he was last year, but he's got that instinct and ability. And Stu's sitting there like this, and
didn't necessarily like the third one either. But there were so many breakdowns on that third goal, man. Hyman,
Klingberg,
Bouchard sort of like is just there. Klingberg is there but not there, and then the top line goes off on a change.
Yeah.
And as that goal is being scored, you see the third line come over the boards trying to get there in time, but they didn't get there in time. It was a lazy, weak-ass line change from the big boys, and it backfired. Yeah. What else did I miss? Was there something else?
You probably didn't miss this, but I'll just cap it off. Here's the cherry on top. It seemed like Stu stabbed at it instead of like staying. It seems
so
like
kind of went like,
how he's
that hit the post and went in, right?
It did.
Yeah.
And Stu talked about that.
Was he saying it went off something?
That one I thought was clean.
Yeah, I thought that one was clean.
Yeah.
I know there was a stick reach right as the shot came through.
Yeah.
But I think that was clean off the post and in.
And I'll have to discuss this with Joaquin when he's not watching F1 testing. But and I've noticed this a few times from Stu. He'll make a save here or there with his glove, but there's also times where he seems like he misses it and he's like stabbing at it. You know what I mean? Like in baseball, they teach you to absorb it. They teach you to, anticipate where it's going. And don't get me wrong, a puck flying at you at 90 miles per hour that can go tip off a stick.
Yeah, but you're usually allowing it to come into your glove as opposed to like
stab at. Because when you're stabbing at it, like you're taking away some of that space and time to get like that fraction of a second that might be the difference between a goal and a save. And it seems like Stu's stabbing at it. I'll have to ask Joaquin. He can articulate that better. But because you kind of like look and he's like, psh. It's like, why are you pushing your glove forward? Catch it, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not an expert. It's just something I noticed on that one that I thought was worth discussing.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. The Liquid Beaver says, hey guys, did you catch Stuart Skinner's words yesterday post game? Tony asked if they could draw on anything for past slumps, and Skinner's response was yes, but this is going to be a little bit different. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. Hey, who's out there, boys? Who do we have out there? Is Trevor Hernan there?
There's Joaquin.
Yeah, one of the boys. I want to play the Skinner post game again. It should be sitting there somewhere. Let's play the Skinner post game. Gager, come here for a second.
Am I right with like Stu stabbing at shots with his glove? Do you notice that?
Does he stab? Well, you had it last night on post game, then. So yeah, it should be like wherever it was. We played it this morning too.
Yeah, he is. Joaquin says he noticed it. Blocking, not catching.
Blocking, not. Hey, Dan Blackburn. Dan Blackburn tried to go with two blockers. Yeah,
former.
And it didn't work. Hernan will find the. You have to load it off the desktop, I think, Nan. So. Yeah, Trev, did you delete it?
Trev's in here.
Trev will find it. Trev's going into the recycling bin and bringing it out. God, that's good. I thought it was a very interesting post game from.
Brett Kulak is quite chipper too, but he actually had a good game.
Actually, you know what? Shout out to, like, as far as positives go, shout out to Kulak.
Yeah.
Because without Nurse, you knew there was going to be more on his plate. Mm-hmm. And not only did he handle it, he actually, he excelled in it last night. Like, as far as bright spots go, penalty kill was good. Too much of it, but it was good.
Goal was called back on the challenge.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
Because when that went in, I'm like, 7 straight games.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough
But you're right, 6 for 6 after that.
Yeah.
Am I grabbing Kulak or
Skinner? Skinner, Skinner. Kulak was good. Draisaitl scored again. And overall, the team was better than it had been the last 3 games,
weren't they?
But I also don't think they were good. Like, I don't think that was a game that they should have won. They could have won it.
Yeah.
But they didn't play so well where I was like, damn, like that was the one that they should have had. Because it wasn't at that level. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Over in the Nasty Chat, if you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us as well. The oil stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza, where they've got that $15 lunch, a main, a side, and a drink for only $15. And if it's ready in 20 minutes, or if it's not ready in 20 minutes or less, your next lunch is on Boston Pizza. So
I tried a new menu item yesterday.
Did you? Was that little pizza that I saw?
That was Reed. Had a little mini pep.
That looked nice.
Yeah, he said he's been looking forward to that for a while. I had the butter chicken pizza.
Whoa.
Phenomenal.
I says, pardon? A butter chicken pizza?
Yeah.
So what's on a butter chicken pizza?
Lots of veggies, and then obviously chicken, and then the sauce is butter chicken sauce.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Really, really good. Tony recommended it. And then Tony! DVD had the butter chicken pasta.
Oh, you're the butter chicken boys.
The butter chicken boys.
The BP's butter chicken boys.
And it cleared, like, I was breathing nice.
Butter chicken will do that too.
Oh, yeah. It had some heat on it. I very much enjoyed it. So the $15 lunch, fantastic.
All right. So if you've missed what Stuart Skinner said last night.
What are you guys doing?
Did Hernan just pump his fist at Stewie Skins? Yeah. All right, here's what Stuart Skinner had to say last night. Let's listen to this. It's like 2.5 minutes, and then we'll come back and you can chime in on it.
there. How did you kind of see this one play out?
Yeah, it was a solid game by both teams. I think, they're a hard forechecking team. Big bodies, obviously. They shoot a lot of pucks. Lots of guys at the net to make my job tough. And I think we started to kind of get going throughout the first period. And once we kind of found our legs, I thought we were pretty solid. Tough way to lose for sure.
You always talk about how everything has a purpose. Right now, you guys are dealing with some pretty adverse situations, longest losing streak of the season. What's it going to take to get out of this, Stu?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that we're trying to figure out right now as a team. Every year kind of brings up different battles, different adversities for us, for every team to go through. This is another one where we get to kind of figure it out as a new team here. So it's going to obviously take all of us, chipping in together, talking to each other about, what we can do better. Sometimes you got to go through the crap. And, I think tonight's a really good game for us. I think the way that we, we just skated with our legs. We worked really hard tonight. And I think that's a big step in the right direction.
How about yourself, Stu? Where are you at mentally right now?
Yeah, I feel great. Feel good mentally. Super excited to keep playing. I was really excited to play tonight. So I feel like my headspace is in a really good spot. I'm ready to rock and roll. Whenever my number's called, and I get pretty excited to play.
It looked like you were making some key saves throughout, some pretty key movements throughout this game, and then all of a sudden it takes a deflection and it beats you. How frustrating is that to kind of battle through within 60 minutes?
Yeah, it is pretty tough. Like, it's tough to just, they're good NHL goals. Those goals are going in on a lot of guys. I think, I went up to Cal and I was like, every time they score, you just hear the post. It's just kind of their luck, I guess, for the night. Goes off guys' skate perfectly onto the post and then just trickles in. Same with the first one. And, so third one. Yeah, that's the frustrating part. Sometimes is you're working so hard as a team and, bounces like that happen. But that also goes into the way that they play. They put so many guys in front of the net. Guys go hard at the net. They always present sticks, always present, problems for teams. So, and that's why Florida knows how to win.
This is a team that showcased its resilience time and time again. Just look at last season altogether. Is there anything that you can kind of pinpoint or lean on in terms of past experiences that you guys can maybe help propel yourselves out of this situation?
Always. When you go through stuff like this, you always kind of look on past experiences, kind of how you got out of it before. Again, this is going to take something different. But that's the exciting part. You get to learn a little bit more about yourself as an individual. We get to learn about each other as teammates and just how we're going to pull through this. And again, that creates more and more belief. And as we know about belief, it can be a very dangerous thing.
There you go. That's Stuart Skinner. It was right at the end there, the one that Liquid Beaver was talking about, how this is going to be different.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it would be. Like I know he said, talked about a different group, but let's be honest, this group started the season very poorly and kind of pulled themselves out of that. So, like, as a group, they've already been through, like, not through the 5, but they've been through a down stretch of the season and came out of it. So I don't know how this one would be any different. I'm not 100% sure what he was saying.
He dropped this is a new team, and I think he was referencing this year's team to last year, perhaps, but it's not.
Well, they've already been through it this year, right?
59 games in.
Yeah. And they faced some adversity.
I think there was the chuckle that probably pissed people off, because I was like, yeah, did he really smile? And then, a little laugh and a chuckle. I think that's what got people. And I said it last night on postgame, like, he is a very positive guy. He buys into manifesting positivity, and he's very steadfast in that, clearly. And, post games on the road, they're less pressure packed, less local media, obviously, and it kind of changes.
That was basically just Tony.
It was just Tony, and they have a good rapport, and you can hear like Tony. Like, there were times when we'd be on the road, and like I would be stuck with Doobie, and it would just be me, and Doobie wanted to rip my head off, and I'm the only guy asking questions, and I'd be like, oh, I can tell Doobie's mad. I have to ask
just
something.
Say, hey man, we're employed by the same team.
We're on the same side here, and even though Doobie and I get along well, I would just be like, all right, 4 questions max. And Doobie be like, yeah, Tom. Oh, yeah. Then I remember one time I asked about, I think it was Ben Bishop, one of Ben Bishop's first starts. He shut out the Oilers, and it was like a throwaway question. Like, I know you guys are similar type of goalies. Like, what'd you think of his performance? He's like, oh yeah, he was good, Tom. And then he goes, why did you ask me that?
Like after
so stupid.
Or on the...
I'm like, I don't know, man. You weren't giving me anything, and I needed to fill time. So
got to get a couple minutes here, man.
Dude, I need tape. Like, give me something. Anyway, and so like very casual conversation. I don't know. I think Stu's not going to be the type of guy that's going to dwell and provide ammunition for the fans. I think he's just going to stay.
Well, he's providing ammunition for the fans.
Yeah, and
just being the way that he was last night, which is
the approach
maybe unfair to him. But I mean, fans right now are fans. I mean, they are not happy with the way things are going.
Deskra says, "Can he manifest a 905?"
Yeah, Deskra. Where's Deskra come out of?
I don't know.
Like, I don't think I've seen a lot of Deskra in the chat up until like the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but there's been some pretty good,
Cupid's
pretty good
funny.
Deskra stuff rolling in. Actually, I saw something. Yeah, 100% AI generated. That last the Skinner thing. That was kind of funny, man. I'm not gonna lie.
We've had some new nasties in the chat, which is great.
It's good. Yeah, if you're not yet subbed to the channel, do that. We're over 11.3K as we make our way up to 12,000, which will be the next sort of big marker for us. Let's get to a few of your chats. You can text us 780-218-9999. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, that's the easiest way for you to get in with us. 780-218-9999. T-Man over the Nasty Chest says, my wife could have saved the third goal. Kind of weird that Stu finally played decent to start a game for once in months, and then he loses it late instead of in the first period. Obviously, a little bit of exaggeration of your wife being able to stop that shot. But at the same time, still frustrating. Mm-hmm. Still frustrating for fans, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. The wife saving it part, I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, unless your wife is a
professional goaltender,
NHL caliber goaltender. I know some people right now be like, "Well, Dusty, I'm not even sure that Skinner's an NHL." Like, I understand that. Needed to be better last night for sure. Ethan over in the chat says, guys, I stole this from Twitter last night. Oilers with above 900 save percentage are 28-3-2, with a sub 900 save percentage are 6-17-2. You know, Ethan, I understand what you're saying there. But that doesn't surprise me. Like, I think most teams, when they get a 900 save percentage,
they win.
Are going to be like 10 games by 500. And when most teams have a sub 900 save percentage, they're probably going to lose those hockey games. Yeah. So I would like to see how that compares to other teams, but I think that's probably...
I've got a couple here.
Okay.
T-Man follows up with, she is pretty quick, LOL. I like that. What does that mean? I'm kidding. And then Abutski says, hey, worrying about Stu Skinner's performance in net, legit lately. Putting stock into post-game media scrums, misguided. And I think Abutski, that's fair. Like,
it's fair, but fans are doing it.
And it is a form of venting frustration, I feel like you're not going to really appease any of the fans right now, so they'll jump on anything. And can I add to that too? Like the Draisaitl slamming the gate, walking off.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. So,
okay.
No, let's go there.
I can go there.
On the
okay.
list, yeah.
And then people were saying, Tom, did you see him yell at Skinner?
He was looking at Skinner, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, I have to go find this. So Hernan was talking, and I think it was him and Gager had a little back and forth. So I went and found the video and the clip. And I found one that it looked like it was a little bit sped up. I'm like, I got to look at this in like real time. And then finally I found one of it from the broadcast. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Leon slams the gate, looks back, yells something. Stu does come in there from that side, but then Stu looks back at the same spot Leon was, and I think it's Corey Perry also looked back. So I didn't perceive that 7-second video, and again, that's what I saw, as Leon yelling at Stu, because if he was yelling at Stu, I don't think Stu and Corey Perry would be looking back at the same spot Leon was. I feel like there might have been a ref going by, or
this has a Zapruder film.
The
Zapruder film. Yeah, that is kind of written all over.
But what I'm saying ultimately, and maybe Leon was yelling at Stu, but I really don't feel like he was watching that. But to me, it seems like
I see what you're saying about the Perry look.
Yeah, we are looking for something that isn't there because we're so against Stu Skinner. And by we, I mean the collective oil country.
So yeah, he looks back.
I'm not buying it that...
Says something. then turns to walk away. Then Stu just quickly looks to his right.
Yeah.
But Perry looked back in the direction that Leon had looked.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Like, if Leon was yelling at Stu's not looking back that way. Stu's just eating putting his head down and walking back.
I have a feeling Leon was chirping an official.
So do I.
Like, that's what it would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so that's probably what it was. But anyway, I like seeing the fire.
Yeah, I like the fire.
I do like seeing the fire.
Leon has every right to be. He's been the best Oiler all season long.
Undoubtedly.
Post to post so far. But I feel like wanting to dump on Skinner, which is valid because he has been lackluster. Calvin Pickard wasn't great on Sunday, by the way. We, again, the collective we, as Oil Country, media fans included, use that and go, oh, he's mad at Stu. No, I don't think that's the
I never
case.
thought for a minute he would show that type of attitude towards Skinner.
No, and
like,
if he were to do it, it'd probably be in the room. Down the tunnel.
Probably in the room. Yeah.
That's why I think it's probably
interesting
official.
times.
But that's
for sure.
You know what I mean? I'm correlating that, like, we're looking for everything to point fingers at Skinner, and that's another example of it.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We had Chris Johnston on the Nielsen show this morning, and he mentioned how Connor McDavid is the heartbeat of this hockey team. And I kind of hesitated. We talked about it briefly after, because I sort of hesitated a bit because I feel like Leon has been the heartbeat of the team this year. But what makes sense from Chris Johnston saying it is Connor's not playing well right now. The team's not playing well right now. He probably still is the straw, that's the spoon or whatever, the fork, the knife, whatever you want to stir a drink with.
Yeah.
I guess it still is, but Leon has just been, he's just been on pretty much like the entire season, right? Like he, to me, he's the one that has made this group go this year, but McDavid is off right now and they're losing. So maybe I'm wrong on it's been Draisaitl who's been making them tick type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Because he's still playing well, but they're not winning hockey games. So maybe it still just has to be like, maybe the only way they get out of this is McDavid goes off for a night here finally.
He needs one. I mean, he's had some bad ones. What is he now? Was he dashed something again yesterday?
No, he was even.
He was even for the first time in a while because he was minus 12 in his last 5. And heading into action Tuesday, I think it was, he'd been on for 13 goals for and 13 against. And then Ekholm, too, I think was on for 2 for and on for 14 against for a stretch. I have to double check those stats, but I had them the other day and I was like, what is going on with these guys? Oh, sorry. It was McDavid on for 13 for and 13 against in the past 10. And then Ekholm was on for 4 and on for 12 against.
Not good.
Not good. Those are 2 of your pillars.
Good. Not good. All right, 780-218-9999. A couple of things we're going to do. We're going to dive into our Popeyes spicy headlines here. Brought to you by Popeyes, where they have that new $4 value menu. 5 different items, including some nugs, mini chicken sandwich, the mini wrap, some cauliflower. There's a bunch of different things on there for you, and they're just $4. So if you're looking for a bite to eat today, maybe we suggest a little Popeyes for lunch. 2 things I want to get to in the spicy headlines. And we asked Chris Johnston about this today as well with Evander Kane. And you've said multiple times, like, they're on Kane's timeline. And
that was a term that was mentioned to me a couple times. Okay. Like, everyone's on Evander's time.
Like, to me,
I don't like it either.
Well, that just shouldn't be the case. Like, Evander Kane, if he thinks he might be able to play in early April, he should be working with the team to not come back until the playoffs so they can go out and utilize this cap space and make themselves better. Like, this should be a hand-in-hand thing. We shouldn't be hearing, well, not sure what they're going to do at the deadline with cap because of Evander Kane. Like, how are they not aware of the situation?
That was my first question, too.
You can't, as an organization, the Oilers cannot in any way not use this space at the deadline and have Evander Kane come back on April 6th. Like, you've seen every other team do this.
Yeah.
and they're not going to do it because Evander wants to play at the end of I don't see a world where that they're either on the same page and just not letting it
playing
out,
coy, or
it's dysfunctional and they should just try to do whatever they can to move them. Like, it's just,
I want to think they're on the same page and they're just playing coy to utilize that.
That's what I'm
in
thinking. Like,
I want to believe it's that. The problem is they have a player who has a track record, including in his time here, of not making life easy.
Yeah.
It's a fact. And I have nothing against him. Get along just fine with him. I think he's a tremendous hockey player. I think he makes the Oilers better when he's dialed in and healthy. But that's just how it is with this player.
Yeah, it blows my mind that we're hearing, they're waiting to see what Evander says. And it's just, like, he hasn't skated with...
He has been skating.
He's been skating himself. On his own. So he has not rejoined the group and trying to get back up to speed.
He skated after practice last week.
Okay. Just by himself.
After practice.
Just after practice. Yeah. Okay.
But he's here.
So I would think if you want your best chance to win a Stanley Cup, like, there wouldn't be this, it's his timeline thing. It's, here's our plan for Evander Kane. And actually, he's getting closer. We can ramp him up in mid-March and help us go after first place in the division.
Yeah.
Then that's being on the same page. No, they would never say it, but he might be ready to go in early April. But it's best for all of our chances to win the Stanley Cup that we just leave him there and use this LTIR space. Like, I don't know how many times you hear them. Like, how many other times have we talked about a team around the National Hockey League going, they've got this guy and the injury, and he's going to decide what they're going to be able to do with their cap space. Like, that doesn't happen in other places, or at least it doesn't make it across the national market. Like,
there are so few guys who are like that, though.
Yeah.
And he happens to be one of them. I hope the team is playing possum, being coy about it. I hope it is that scenario. And then they go, oh, surprise, he's ready for game one. Great.
Yeah.
That would be great. Use that tool to your advantage.
You sure hope that, like, there's not this thing where, like, he's being like, I'm ready to play, and they're not letting me go, and, like, that would be a tough look. But it's been a weird relationship for quite some time. So
yes,
I don't know. I just don't know how it's just not like, yeah, you haven't played all year. You're probably not gonna be able to play until April at the earliest anyway. So you're not playing until the playoffs. And the player goes, yeah, it's a good idea. Go out and get 2 more bodies with my cap space, and I'll come back and the team will be a juggernaut. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of that.
RCN texts in saying Kane doesn't want them to add another body at the deadline because that guy is going to, quote, take his spot.
No, guess what?
I don't think
there's enough spots. Have you seen the bottom 6?
they've got some openings.
There's even an opening in the top 6 for Evander Kane, for goodness sakes. Like,
you want to play on the first line?
I mean, if Evander Kane comes back and looks anything like he did, in his early days here, he'd be in the top 6.
Yeah.
Nothing against Podkolzin and Arvidsson and Skinner, but Evander Kane would be in there. Like,
I'm sorry, all 3 of those players that you just mentioned, Evander Kane, when healthy and engaged, is much more effective then and better. I would take him, the player, over those other guys in a top 6 role any day.
So we'll see. So Danny T over there is talking about, I think Frank Cervalli, a good point, that if Kane wants to come back before the end of the season, the Oilers have used that LTIR space, they'll be severely hooped. Well, that's the thing.
Yes.
A player who wants to be a part of the team is not going to force his way back in the lineup after the team has gone out and used the LTIR space. You're just going to say, you know what? I'll wait 10 days.
Yes.
And then I'll rejoin the team. I mean, this shouldn't be the issue that it looks like it could possibly be. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's so screwy, it feels like. You're like, you can't really gauge it.
His trade protection changes tomorrow, right?
Yes.
March 1st. He goes from a full no move
to a 16
team no trade list.
Yeah.
I don't see a team wanting to trade for Evander Kane. Could there be a situation where they dump the contracts to somebody?
I was told a couple days ago, no team's
going to take on even the contract, play for some picks or something.
Because he's such an unknown right now.
All right. Well, that's a awkward situation that you just really hope the organization has completely figured out, and it's just not out there yet that they know they're going to be able to use the cap space and go from there.
Yeah.
I want to do this experiment here today as well. TSN trade bait board. This was today. Tommy, let's just go through this list and find which guys you think could be reasonable acquisition. Like, they can all be targets, but which guys you think could reasonably be brought in by the Edmonton Oilers.
This is TSN's trade bait board,
TSN
right?
trade bait board.
Gotcha.
There's like 40 names on here. We could maybe whip through a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But we'll just go through it and be like, yes, no. Okay. Brock Nelson.
No.
Okay. Brock Besser.
No.
No. Rantanen. 4.625 mil after the retention. Nope. Braden Shen.
No.
Scott Lawton. Hasn't Lawton been brought up here before?
Last year, there was discussions about him with Philly. That was legit.
Lawton is 3 mil, has a year left after this year. And is 30, has 27 points, 57 games this year as a center. Carson Soucy.
There was legit interest in him a couple years ago. It didn't come to fruition. Now, it's a different regime at the helm, so I don't know.
Another year left.
3.3.
3.3. Seth Jones.
As much as I'd like to say yes, highly unlikely.
Ristolainen.
That one might have.
Philly retains.
Yeah.
It's 30 as well. He's got 2 years left after this year.
And he had so much promise, and it's just kind of.
He looked like he was going to be a stud when he was coming out of those World Junior tournaments.
Yep.
Ricard Raquel.
Nope. Having a good year, though.
Brandon Tanev.
Nope.
Ryan Donato. This is a name that's popped up.
That's one that I'm like, that is interesting.
He's got 40 points this year.
Yep. And he's cheap.
2 mil, rental, UFA at the end of the year, 28 years old. I mean, financially, that's one that would have to be mixed in there. Yep. Trent Frederick. I've heard his name pop up.
Yeah, but it sounds like that would be a long shot. I do like the idea of him. He's not having a great season. He had a really good year last year, though.
Nick Bjugstad.
I would love that. I don't think it happens, though.
UFA.
I know. He was such a good fit here. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance?
Very, very, very small
I'm sure
chance.
they would at least entertain that idea.
Bjugstad's, I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't want to take another run out with these guys. Right? He's familiar with a lot of them.
Here.
Dylan Cousins, no. Gustav Nyquist, no. Connor Murphy. Year left, maybe. 4.4, right shot D.
Big body,
would
physical.
Be an upgrade on Klingberg.
Yes.
And Emberson and Stetcher.
Yes.
To me, Connor Murphy's a guy that you could slot in alongside Darnell Nurse, and that would round out your top 4.
I have time.
You're not going to have huge conversation. You're not going to have huge expectations for him, but one more year at 4.4 mil. Connor Murphy would be a name that would be somewhat interesting. Jake Evans is a UFA. Nope. A little bit of grit in his game. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, 1.7 mil, 27 points this year. That's more than every forward on the team except the 4 who play on the power play.
Essentially more than everybody on the bottom 6.
Yeah. Joel Armia, UFA, 3.4. Yanni Gord, 33 years old. He's a UFA.
It's a big ticket, though.
Jordan Greenway.
I like that one.
Big body, bottom 6, crash and bang it. 3 mil UFA at the end of the year.
Plays a-hole hockey, which is great.
He would be the greasiest guy that they would have for sure.
Fantastic.
And then you're looking at like Luke Shen. Somebody actually brought up Luke Shen in the chat this morning.
Tony from BP liked Luke Shen.
Was it Tony? Maybe it was Tony today too.
Yeah, I know he's talking about
Luke Shen's on there. Right shot D, veteran guy. Full-blown rental. Michael McCarron, 900K, 1 year. Nope. Just 8 points in 50 games. Big center. Casey Middlestat pops up on this list. Not going to happen. Jamie Oleksiak, 1 year, 4.6 mil, rental out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Left shot guy. I don't know about Oleksiak's ability to play the right. Haven't looked that up.
Look at number 25. Here.
I know. Elias Pettersson sitting there.
Jeez. What?
Gager said he went and checked out Canucks post game last night.
Yeah.
Just for like shits and gigs.
Yeah.
And he said it was amazing. He said like the entire chat was on Pettersson. Like they're done with him in Vancouver. Like the fan base is just like, no, no more.
He's nowhere near 11.6 million status at 35 points in 53 games.
Kyle Palmieri, UFA, 35 points, 5 mil. Islanders retain some. Would he be a veteran guy you could throw in the top 6 for a playoff run?
I think the answer to that is yes. It's just, can you squeeze him in? Can you finagle the cap to make it work? He's very solid, and he's
always been a steady, consistent player. I think
he's in the right place at the right time. Sometimes he scores from distance. He's burned the Oilers a bunch of times. He's a good hockey player.
don't mind the Alexiak idea.
Big, mean.
Yeah.
Really big.
Does anybody in the chat or listening online know if he plays right side as well? Let us know. 780-218-9999. Nick Robertson's not going to happen.
No.
Bowen Byram's not going to happen. David Savard, there's a name that pops up all the time.
This one, since day one of the season, David Pagnotta's like, this is who the Oilers are interested. They're still interested in David Savard.
So they've been on Savard all year?
All year. And I don't think that's changed. So
number 29 on the list. There it is.
And every time his name comes up and Dave mentions that on Hello Hockey, people get mad. That's not what they need. Absolutely not.
Abutsky says, Jake Evans is having a good year. Craig Button and Tony Marinaro think that he's a good fit for the Oil. He's an energy guy in your bottom six for sure.
They could use a shot of energy.
Yeah, something like that. I could see that. John Gibson's 30 on the list. 6.4 mil, 2 years left after this, so you'd have him up to 33. Alex Tuck.
That's a guy I'd have a ton of time for.
He would be, to me, like of everybody on this list.
Yep.
Even though I do identify a defenseman as a must-have, Tuck would be like as blockbustery as you can get.
I would
for the Oilers.
Flip Arvidsson so fast for him.
Oh my God!
So
if you
fast.
could somehow turn Arvidsson's 4 mil next year and the rest of this year into Tuck's 4.8 for this year and the rest of next year, my God, like that's like the Dumb and Dumber. You go and totally redeem yourself. Like that would be a really nice get. He's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, if he likes it here and it works well, he's trying to keep him around with the cap going up.
I think there is a family connection to the area too.
Is there?
Yeah, I could tell you off camera.
Okay.
Or off air.
Matty Gresslick. Yeah. Brian Dumoulin. Dumoulin's won a couple of cups.
Yeah, big body
He's
guy.
33, 3.15 UFA. Justin Brazeau, Boston. Mario Ferraro. Somebody brought him up this week on our show.
He's like one of the few players on the Sharks. You're like, he's good. He can play. It's too bad he's on a bad team.
Just 26. Got a year left next year, 3.25 mil. Ryan Lindgren, Luke Kunin. Actually, I think it was JB McLennan this week. Mentioned both those two guys out of San Jose. Kuning and Ferraro. Ryan O'Reilly, Trevor Zegras, and then Eric Carlson, number 40 on this list. What do we find? Like 8-9 guys?
Yeah.
8-9 guys that were like, maybe there's one or two that were like, go do that. But then the Oilers, they got to get a little bit creative here and find out what's happening with the Evander Kane and cap space.
I think we're supposed to get some information on Kane right away here. Like I think he said, didn't he say something about March 1st?
Did he? Is that coincidentally like when his trade thing moves? Is the announcement March 1st going to be like
that in a sly way? Yeah, kind of recollect it. I can't remember if I was in that press conference or not.
Penner's Pancake says, I could see a Connor Murphy Donato package from the Hawks. Frederick is out week to week. You know, we did have time for both of those guys when we went through the list. What was their status? 1 year. Murphy has a year left. Donato's a UFA. Somebody's going to get both those guys. Like the Hawks are going to trade those two guys before the deadline,
a package deal, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could see them being packaged somewhere, but I could also see them going to other places. But those two guys will be traded, and they would both be really good fits for the holes that the Oilers have here. What do you think? Are they going to be comfortable moving the other way here at the deadline? Like, are they going to put a Boaki in play for a Connor Murphy?
They shouldn't.
So that's what I mean. Like, what are they going to be willing to move? Just picks?
But you're in win now mode. I mean, I think you'd make the guys that are on the roster, like Arvidsson available. See if you can make Skinner available. Although their value right now, minimal probably. Maybe you could not trick, but convince someone to take Arvidsson. Like if you could find a way to upgrade on Connor Brown or Adam Henrique, and that's a big if, I know. Like I think some guys that are on the roster that you could part ways with
that might have some value for somebody else somewhere.
Yeah,
like
hate to say it, like Vasily Podkolzin.
You've always hated him, Tommy.
Apparently, I don't. But I'm just saying, like, any way you can improve the roster, make those guys available outside of your core guys.
If you're watching over on YouTube today, and there's about 200 of you there right now, hammer the thumbs up for us. And obviously, a ton of you listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com as well. If you want to pop on over to YouTube and smash the thumbs up, sub to the channel, that would obviously be appreciated. Statue Boss Productions says, guys, I know they should be in win now mode, but I honestly think this team is already peaked and the window is closed. No picks, no prospects, or cap space. Well, the cap space is going up.
That's a very gloom and doom perspective.
Yeah, I do not. I think you're right. That's too end of days-ish.
Like a 5-game
the window's closed. Like,
slide has led some people to think that way. Man. I saw it last night in the text line in the nasty chat.
All right,
it's not doom and gloom.
Well, it's doom and gloom right now.
It ain't pretty.
But the window's not closed. No. My goodness. Somebody this morning, was firing Knobloch. I'm like, you just hired him last fall.
I know.
He's been here for like 14 months.
He's like 80, 40, and 7 or something like that.
I said, you want to criticize Skinner and talk about a goalie? I understand it.
Sure.
You want to talk about Bouchard? You want to criticize Knobloch and some of the coaching decisions they make? I understand it. Yeah. I understand a lot of things. But you can't be the market that's like, 5 losses in a row, another coach gone. Like, come on.
Knobloch is
this isn't fantasy hockey. It's not a video game.
80, 39, and 9 as head coach of the Oilers.
Fire him. On to the next one. Who else coached the Golden Bears that Stoff knows? Like, can we get somebody else? Like, where's
Herbie?
Come on. Well, Herbie's already been
Turn
there.
your phone off silent. You're ready.
All right, let's get to Keep It or Clip It for Tommy Gunn's Original Barbershop. We believe a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. It's about the whole experience. That's why they follow the code, a commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every single time you visit. From check-in to the finishing touch, every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax, and they will take it from there. All right, what about this? Things change quickly. Pickard should start 2 of the 3 games prior to the deadline. Keep it or clip it.
I'm going to stick with my guns and clip it.
Are you going to go Skinner against Carolina again?
Right, Stu, yeah.
All right.
Maybe he'll have legitimate reason to smirk and smile and chuckle tomorrow after the game. I don't know. I'll just stick with what I've been saying. Ride, Stu.
If the Oilers lose their next 2 games, things will get really nasty after the Ducks game in town.
Keep it. You don't think they're nasty now?
No, but I'm talking like if they lose at Carolina, they come back here, they lose to Anaheim. Okay, they're going to be booed off the ice. And you know what's going to happen when they put McDavid or Draisaitl in front of a scrum of local media who haven't talked to these guys for 2 weeks. It's going to be on. Like, if I was the Oilers and they lose that, Draisaitl is not going anywhere near the media. Because Draisaitl he'll take no shit. He'll just, I mean, it could be pissy all over again here, Tommy. Like, if they lose to Carolina, like, for the sake of the organization, the Anaheim game is a must win. You got to deliver a dub, because if you lose 6 in a row, 5 in a row on the road coming off the 4 Nations, and then you drop one to the Ducks, you know how this market is. Like
that's troubles.
That's going to be nasty.
Yeah, I'll keep that 100%.
Your post-game show will be absolutely fire.
Bring it on. I have no point in defending.
Oh, my God.
Not going to hurt my feelings if you think the team sucks.
All right, keep it or clip it. Victor Arvidsson should be on the 3rd line for a couple of weeks.
Keep it. I mean, he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's just the only problem is you don't have a lot of options for the top 6 on the right side.
Well, let's tie this one back in then. Keep it or clip it. Matt Savoy should be beside Draisaitl in Carolina.
Keep it.
Yeah,
I think so. I think that game suits Matt Savoy better. Just dipping his feet into the NHL waters right now. Carolina's not going to punish you physically. I understand why they took him out for the Florida game, big boy hockey, all that stuff. And I think, and you heard Chris Knobloch talk about it pregame too. He didn't want to overwhelm him. I'm basically paraphrasing, but I think a Carolina skilled speed team suits Matt Savoy's game at this point in his career a little bit better and maybe makes it a bit easier. So
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. This is an interesting dilemma we have.
Oh,
here
yes,
right now.
It is.
Boys, do we hit yes or no? Do we hit yes or no? Something
Where's
just
Matthew?
popped up on the main computer. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device?
No.
Windows hit no. Hey! We did it! We did it! We didn't even have to ask Maddie.
The
now
files
the stream shuts down.
are
It's just
in the computer.
The 4 of us, Brendan, Hernan, Tommy were like, "Can we click yes or no?"
No.
Oh, phew. That was close.
It was treacherous.
That was close.
Timber Woodsman texting in.
Oh, yeah, let's get to some text.
A loss to the Ducks is what they need. What happened last time? The loss to the Sharks last season. Yeah, but that was on November 9th. And they fell to 32nd, tied for 32nd in the NHL at that point. The scenario is a bit different.
RCN just sent me a screen cap, I think, from Twitter. It's got Woody standing on the ice with his hand. You know, the one with the hand on the hip? And it says Jay Woodcroft waiting outside Stan Bowman's office.
Oh, RCN. Good.
That's a funny,
grab.
I don't know where you got that from, but that's
well played.
That is pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
What an all-time power stance from Woodcroft. God.
Dave with this one. Okay, a little bit earlier. I've got two from Dave here that I'm kind of interested in. Hey guys, this team's a joke. Savoy is an extra again after Knobloch saying he had too many passengers last night. Clearly didn't learn anything from Broberg and Holloway. Punish a kid for playing good hockey. Way to get his confidence up. Dave, I don't think they're punishing him. And Knobloch did talk about it. Just what team the Panthers are right now, where Savoy is at in his development.
Just too much for him right now.
Yeah. So I think Carolina is a game and a team opponent that probably suits his game a little bit better. And then Dave followed up with Oilers coaches total games. McClellan 266, Tippett 171, Woodcroft 133, Knobloch 128. Team is starting to lose the message.
Oh, geez. Knobloch's almost all. Woody only got that many games.
Chris is 5 games away from Woody's total.
Woodcroft got hosed, didn't he? Like
Tippett only 171. Like by the end of this
Woody
season,
didn't even get 2 full seasons.
No. Well, maybe, he almost got like
maybe
a
as a group they will fire Knobloch. I mean, I just don't. When I
did kind of poke around on stuff, I was like, "Hey, the heat's got to be turned up around hockey ops, eh?" And what I was told was, "Oh, maybe the owner's mad." But no.
Yeah, but you can't even as an owner. Yeah, I know you can do whatever you want. But you can't fire the coach every 130 games.
Why not? They keep doing it.
I know. There's a trend here, but that would be a really bad look.
It would be awful.
That would be an awful look. There's no chance that that happens. Do you think they beat Carolina? Reed thinks they get pumped.
I don't think they get pumped. I think it'll be similar to last night's game.
So Skinner blows it in the third.
Flip a coin.
All right. What time's pregame get going tomorrow? What time is this one?
Game's at 5 tomorrow.
Okay, so a 4:00 pregame.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just here?
Just here.
All right, beautiful.
Yep, nothing crazy.
All right. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
EST Afternoons is coming up. You guys going to talk about the hockey game at all? Yeah. Hernan crushed me in Tecmo today.
I heard you guys.
Biggest, I think that's the most lopsided loss.
You conceded?
Well, we had to start lock shopping. I was down 20-0. It was going into the fourth quarter. Most lopsided loss I think I ever had against Nan. So,
can I mention one that Big Uke slid in?
What is it? What does it say?
Text.
Okay, go ahead.
They are called the Anaheim Ducks, but they are going to be silly gooses once they play Edmonton.
I could ban him from the text line.
Didn't you already?
No, he didn't do that in the chat, did he?
No, text line.
Okay, good. Phew. At least other people don't see the vulgar language.
Oh, my goodness.
If you wouldn't have brought it up, Tommy, nobody would have known.
My ears.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream today. Brought to you by Boston Pizza. EST Afternoons with Hernan and Gagers on the way next. For Tom Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll talk to you on Monday morning at 6 o'clock.